Hello. Hello, everyone. Uh, Good evening. Good evening. I think my voice is clear to you, right? Is my voice audible? Okay. So, today would be a very interesting thing because this is an optimization which we actually use daily in our lives, right? So, let's just wait for 2 3 minutes and then we'll start our interesting topic, right? Let's just wait till 7. Hello, good evening. Okay, so let's just wait till 7:03 and then we'll start the session. I hope that all of you has got the last 4 days notes and have revised them well, and also have like did coding till the fourth day, right? And even if not the coding part, I think all of the things that we have performed are clear in your mind, right? Okay. So if any doubt related to like anything, you can just ask me now because then we'll start with our session. Okay. So I think now we can start with our session. So today's topic is going to be the lazy loading with React. So like what actually the lazy loading is, in one line, if I want to tell you that what is lazy loading, it is actually kind of a thing that loading of a file or loading of something when the user wants it, right? So I would like to tell you that just if it is possible for you, you can just open your Instagram and you can just see and just scroll the reel, right? What actually happens when you are scrolling, there would be a small loading, or or not even a loading, or there would be a small pause, and what will happen that after that, after you scroll, then the what you say, the reel is shown to you, right? Like there are thousands and lakhs of reels that are posted daily. But what actually happens if suppose what would have happened if the lazy loading was not there? What would have happened? Like 10 lakhs of the reel would be there in your phone at one time, and you didn't even wanted like 10 lakhs reels to be shown to you, right? You are watching them one by one. So what would have happened if no lazy loading was there is that your app would be hanged, or you can say it will feel laggy, and I think it would be like burst up the app and overkill on the server side, right? So this is what the lazy loading actually do, that it actually gives us the what you say, the object we want on our like on our clicking or on our scrolling, right? So this is what lazy loading is. So if anyone is not clear with the term that what I just told you, that what is lazy loading, and I told you one of the like the best example, I think everyone all of us actually scrolls the reel, right? So what actually happens, there are 10 lakhs of reels, but they are not shown to you at once, or they are not loaded into your phone or the Instagram app at once. What happens that they load on the basis of like you scroll and then say yes, there is a reel that is demanded by the user, and then it is shown, like not on the basis of like all of the reels are shown at the one time. right? I can't open the Instagram on the web page, otherwise I would have shown you the result. But I think if you have Instagram app, you can just open it now and you can just feel, or if you have YouTube shorts, you can feel the same thing, right? When you are scrolling, there is a like a little pause, and then what you say, the reel is loaded to you, right? And in the similar manner, Google Map also work, right? When you demand the street view, only then the street view is shown to you, otherwise just a simple map would be shown to you, right? So if so if any doubt with this, the term what I told that lazy loading is, you can ask me now, right? And we'll look at the syntax also, and then we'll start the coding part. Coding would be more easier for today's part, right? So you can ask me doubt that what is if you have any doubt that what is lazy loading means, right? You can just ask me, otherwise we'll move with the coding part, right? Okay. So I think all there are no doubts related to this term, because I told you with a very good examples that we follow in our day-to-day lives, right? So okay, I think we can move ahead. So we can just, so this is just a picture which is showing that we are going to learn lazy loading with React. So what is the syntax of the lazy loading? I'll just tell you that what does this suspense means, what does this fallback means, and then when we will implement with our own hands, it will make more sense to you, right? It will make more sense to you. So what we do is that, suppose you can just think this heavy component as a reel, like one reel, what is shown you on your Instagram. So what happens, we import that particular reel from another file, right? This particular reel would be in another file, right? So what happens, we the React provide us with this lazy part. So what happens, when this code is executed in the top to down manner, this particular part would not be, what you say, executed, right? So this lazy actually what it does, this part of the code will not be executed. This part of code will only be executed when this suspense is get hit. Okay, so we'll see how we will hit this suspense. Only when this suspense is hit, or you can say then only this heavy component would be rendered. And this is whole concept of lazy loading is, and this is the syntax. So you can just take feel of the syntax when we will write the code with our uh, okay, so when we will writing the code with our own hands, it will make more sense to you, right? So problem is that heavy components block initial UI. So we'll use react.lazy with suspense fallback. Okay, so what the result that we'll achieve is that faster first paint component load in the background with the loader. So I'll tell you one more thing. So what this suspense will do and what this fallback is doing. So suspense, you can say it is like wait for the things to be loaded into you. Till then, what the fallback will be showing? Fallback will be showing the loading UI, right? You'll see that when you're scrolling, sometime what happens, there is a loading button. So that fallback, that is due to the fallback, right? So that particular thing is due to the fallback. And now, sorry. So when we'll be writing the code, you will get more handy to it, right? Okay, so if any doubt till now, you can just ask me now. Then we'll start with the coding part. Then I'll be taking the doubts at the end of the class. Okay, so you can ask me now if you have any doubt. So we'll be deploying the project also, right? So let me show you that what the end product would look like. Let's just, what is this? Okay, this is day 4. We'll change directory to React Optimizer Lab, npm run dev. Okay, So this is what we'll be achieving, right? So I told you that you should perform that activity first, that you should scroll some reels, then you will feel that yes, they are loading on demand, they are not preloaded, right? So this is what we are going to achieve, that when in the before code, when no lazy code was used, what was happening, this big widget was loaded, right? So what I want, after part, what we'll see, that when I click on this particular open big widget, only then that particular thing would be loaded into my UI, otherwise it will not load into my UI, right? The whole concept of this lazy button is that that it will skip, what you say, this part of the code will remain unexecuted, right? This heavy component would remain unexecuted. When we will hit the suspense part, then it will come into the execution, or you can say the loading part. Okay. So this is what we're going to achieve, that when we'll click on the open widget, so you'll see that there is a loading, right? You'll see that there is some loading part. So that is due to the fallback. And then our what you say, the program or the UI that we want is loaded into our UI, right? So we'll achieve this particular part in today's code. I think this is one of the most optimization which is asked in the interviews also, right? If you tell like the interviewer will ask you that tell me some of the optimization technique, you can actually tell all of these optimization, and in the last if you tell this lazy loading in brief, like it would leave a very good impression on the interviewer, right? Because this is the thing that they also, what you say, learn when they get into the job, right? If someone is knowing this particular optimization before entering the field, or you can say their professional career, I think it's like very good, right? If someone asks you, because everyone in today's world are knowing about what is full stack, React, and all these things, but today the what the world actually needs is the optimization, right? So optimization, if you tell that you know that what all things these things are, it will leave a good impression, right? I think I'm able to make my point clear. You can ask me doubt right now. Okay. So attendance would be shared on 7:45. So you can just focus on what we are learning, right? It would be more good for you, right? Okay. So, if anyone has any doubt related to this lazy loading, you can just ask me. Otherwise, we'll start with the coding part. I have shown you the syntax. So, when we'll be writing the code, it will be more easy for you to understand. Okay. I think we can start the writing code, right? So, we'll go to our own code base. This was the pre-made code base that was pushed on to GitHub. So, okay. Okay, so in this folder, we'll make day 5. Day 5. Okay, I think I have made a file. So we'll go to days, new folder, day 5, new file, after .jsx, before .jsx, and I will also import what you say, uh, big widget .jsx. Okay, we'll take the template of the before from, you can take the template from the before, like you can go to GitHub and take the template of the before part from here. Okay, you can just close all of these things for now. Okay, and I think we can start the write the coding part. I think you'll be knowing that what we write first, right? We write for the render count, right? This particular thing shows that how many times this particular component has been rendered. Okay, or you can say re-rendered. Const c is use ref. Oh, wait a minute. c dot current plus plus. Okay, and we are going to return class name badge. Okay, so in the before code, what we'll be achieving, we'll be seeing that the heavy code is being loaded even if I don't wanted it, right? I wanted the rendering of that particular code when I need it, right? I need a lazy loading. So before code will be like it will be loaded, and I even didn't want that particular code to be executed or UI on my screen, right? Okay, so for now we are writing that particular big thing in this particular thing only. Okay, widget widget, and what is this? We'll be writing that particular code, right? Like we are mocking like we are making a heavy mock process, right? Performance dot now, and while performance dot now. So if someone is not able to get this particular code, you can just like skip it for now. Not skip. You can just think that this particular thing is actually looking our code more. What you say, heavy, right? This is a big widget. It is actually mocking to be a you can say a mock heavy heavy object. Okay. So now we are going to write return div class name card class name card big widget loaded and we'll write the come to this particular part and we'll write some of the code. I think we can just go for now, and what we can do, we can import day 5 before part, before part and in this similar manner day 5 before part. Okay, so when you'll open this particular thing here, okay, so now I think we have forgot to render. Okay, so render count will be rendered here, so render count, and we'll be rendering the heavy widget here, like the big widget here, right? Okay, let us inspect. There's something that has gone wrong. Is that performance? Okay, so there is nothing called performance. I think there's a typo error. We can go performance, right? This is also performance, right? Now it will work perfectly fine. I think there is some other things also which are not going right. So performance dot add now is not as a function. Let me just see what this particular thing is trying to say. Okay, not so this particular thing is nothing. Okay, so we can just tell this performance dot now. Okay, now everything will work perfectly fine. Okay, so this is what is happening, that even I didn't wanted this big widget to be loaded. I want this big widget to be loaded when I clicked on it, right? So this is what we actually do when we are scrolling the reels, that the particular reel will be shown when we scrolled it, right? It is not pre what you say preloaded into our phone. Otherwise there are 10 lakhs, or the number is very high. So if that, but if you open the Instagram and all of the reels are loaded once, then I think it will overkill on the server side, and what you say, Instagram will never work, right? Okay, so I think uh, okay, so you can just remove this particular part. Okay, so this is what is happening, right? So if you console log this statement, you can also console log that, console.log, and you will see that this console log in the after part will be only coming when we clicked on that open widget button, right? So what is going to happen, you are just going to ask that you loaded this even after I do not wanted it, right? I can remove some of the console log statement from the day one part, right? Because they are showing and I think it will create mess, right? You go to before.jsx. Okay, so before 5. So you will see that you loaded this even after I don't wanted it to, right? So this is what is happening when big widget is loaded. Now you will see that we will be rendering this big widget when we'll click on it, right? So this is what the lazy loading would be doing, is that we'll go to the big widget. Okay, because this big widget you can just create an analogy that like that it is a reel, right? It will be imported in the after part as I shown you in the syntax part. So this big widget would be the same function that we just implemented. So I'll be writing it again so that it's create more handy to you, right? Okay, export default function, or you can just do one thing, I think. Oh, wait a minute. RAF. Okay, so this particular thing is fine. You can write RAFC and this is auto completed, right? This particular thing. Or you can also make another syntax, because sometimes people actually, what you say, get confused through it. You can just write export default, because this is what generally people use. So I'll be using the same thing. Big widget, and what is going to have constart performance dot now. So will be, this is performance, right? Because in the last section we did a typo and it was not correct. Performance dot now. You can directly copy paste from the before part also, but I'm writing that for you only so that it becomes handy for you to write. Okay, now return, because when you will be testing for like the heavy things in the like the real company, so you will be writing the same code, right? That if a heavy thing has to be tested, you will be writing the same code. Widget loaded lazy. Okay, so now we'll go to after.jsx. You can just take the template from here. Okay, and in the similar manner, like I'll make you first revisit what the syntax was. So it was big widget, and what I'm going to do it, I'm going to say react dot lazy. What you have to do, you have to import a file which is called as big widget. Okay, so in the similar manner that I showed you in this, right, we are actually importing the file, right? There would be 10 thousands of reels, and these reels would be, what you say, will be importing, right? So they are on the Scalable app, all of the things are not in the same file, you have to import these things. So what is going to happen, let me just complete the code and then I'll show you that how the control flow of the code is going, right? We'll be making a use state hook for this, which is use state false. Okay. And in on button, let's just remove this and let me write this particular thing on my own. I want that on this open widget button, that when I'm clicking on this particular thing, what you have to do, you have to set open as true. Okay. And there is one thing that you have to mention, that you will be using a ternary operating kind of a thing. That is, if this particular thing is open, like the if the open is actually true, then what you have to do is that you have to perform suspense part, right? What you will be doing, you will be passing the suspense. Okay. Suspense, in suspense I'll be writing the fallback thing. Okay, I think there is some issue. Let me just see. Okay, so I think this particular part is being referred here. I think yes, we can write it here only. Okay, so what is going to ask open? So it will say question mark, that in the ternary operators as you are used to do. I'll be asking for the suspense, suspense, and in the fallback part, what I have to show, I have to show a loading part, right? Dev, or what you say, class name, batch, and I'll be sharing the loading, or you can say what you say file, or you can just keep it loading, right? Loading, right? Loading. Okay. And in this particular suspense, what thing has to be shown to us? This big widget. Okay, this big widget part has to be shown to us. uh, in the else condition, what I'll be writing, I'll be writing that there is a div, otherwise show a div. Okay, if this particular code for you is like lengthy, you can just take from that. Okay, class name small. Okay, verify big widget runs only after click. Okay, everything is working fine, I think. So I'll tell you, I'll just make sure that this particular thing should be imported. Import uh, day 5 after day 5 after init. You can just self close it because this is one of the functionality provided by React. Okay. Okay, so what is going to happen, that when you are going to open, for now what is happening, that when this re-render, when this particular UI shown to us, what is happening in the code section. So what is happening, that this particular line of code is executed. Okay, this line would not be getting executed because react.lazy is being used. So you can say, for now, this line would not be executed. Okay, this line would not be executed. Then what is going to happen, this particular line would be executed, this particular line would also be executed, right? And this is the card that we are getting in return. This div is this particular div is what that we are getting in return, right? right, with the this on click functionality. So after the, what happens when I click on the open part, like when I click on this open widget, what happens, it says yes, on click it will set open to true. Okay, now when this set open will be set to true, this code will be again re-rendered, right? Again re-rendered, and what will happen, it will start again executing from the first line. But now what will happen, as we have set the condition in the ternary operator, like when the open is true, what will happen, you will suspense, okay, we'll be suspensing the big widget, and till when this particular code is actually being getting imported into us, this fallback would be showing the loading part to us, this particular thing would be shown to our UI, right? So this is what thing you are going to see on your screens now. Like when you click on the open widget, let me show you once again. You'll see the loading part, right? Just keep your eye on the screen, you will see a loading part, and then the big widget function would be shown to you. Okay, so this was the optimization that we wanted to perform. Now if if any doubt related to it, you can just ask me. Okay, so this was the whole optimization that we wanted to perform. We'll also cover this through our, this what you say, through our notes. So before starting the revision through our notes, let me just ask that if anyone is having any doubt. Okay, we'll deploy this project also today, right? Okay, so I am looking at the chat section for now. You can post your doubts here, right? You can just post your doubts here, right? So I think today's session was very much must be very much relatable to you, right? Because this is one of the optimization that you are using in the daily lives but are not knowing about, like what the what the code behind it is working, like, right, right. So okay, I think if everyone is ready, we can just start to revise through our notes, and once we will revisit the code also, and then we'll deploy our project. Okay, so you can just, okay, nice, you can just write yes in the comment section, I am seeing, right? If everyone is ready, then we'll just start in the revision, right? Okay, what is happening? Okay, double triple M. Okay, sir, can you show any real website using this demo like we saw? Right. See, I can show you, but what I told you in the beginning of the class, you can just open Instagram in your phone itself, right? I can't show my Instagram, right? Like scrolling part on the web page, or you, if you have not any Instagram account, you can just open the YouTube Shorts. So you will see that this lazy loading is happening there. Like when you are scrolling, there is a very like 0.1 second of loading because they are using data, big databases. So but yes, what is happening, that the reel is being loaded into your phone when you needed it, right? Otherwise there are like crores of reels that are present in the Instagram. But see what happens, that if they if lazy loading was not there, they all will get into your Instagram app at once, and what will happen, your all resources would be hacked, or not hacked, will get into like lagged situation, right? And your Instagram app would never run. And this can also happen that your mobile can feel very heavy, right? Right. So this was one of the example that you can show in your own self, right? Is this affect only the size of the content or the so what it is actually optimizing is that we does not have to load everything into the user's phone. Okay, so you can say that these are actually the, what you have mentioned are the sub parts, right? It is actually reducing the size of our app, right? It is actually only right, and the network issue also, means these are the sub parts that are being solved by optimizing by optimization of using by the lazy loading. Okay, yes, these are these are the subpart, but the main core functionality that, or you can say the major issue it is solving, is that it is actually making our site very easy to be scrolled down, and all of the data is not given to all of the users. They are given the data on the basis of what they need, right? Please don't what you say keep in mind that there is an algorithm that is working, that what reels to be shown to us, that's a different thing. But what they are using is that they are using the lazy loading only, right? So I think your doubt would be clear. If cleared, you can just say yes in the comment section, right? Oh, okay, you will be pushing your all GitHub profiles. Can we add big components in the suspense rather than just loading? Like you, we are doing the same thing, right? We have actually given a big widget in the suspense, and this I if you are talking about the fallback, it is an attribute of this suspense, right? That it will come with the attribute of fallback. Instead of loading, many of use the icons here, right? The moving icon of the loading. So I think this is what you are asking. Can we add big components in the suspense rather than just loading? So you are actually adding this particular big object in the suspense only, right? So this suspense is actually creating an environment for the big widget to be lazy loaded. If specifically I wanted to tell you that the answer to your doubt. Uh, okay, so what this suspense is actually creating an environment for this big widget, or you can say heavy, heavy what you say, heavy files, so that it can be loaded, lazy loaded again from here, and till it is loaded into our UI, the fallback would be showing a loading to you. Okay, so I think you got the answer for your doubt. So we can just look at the GitHub repo. If all things are pushed, then we will deploy it, and then we'll revise it again. Okay, React Optimizer, and we'll go to source. I think last push was there. I saw that. Okay, day 5 is also there. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big widget. Okay, you can go to Vercel, right? So we are actually deploying our project. We click on add new project in our GitHub repository. This is what 1 minute ago. We'll import this. Okay. So you will change the root directory to the React Optimizer, and we are doing this thing because what you say, our packet.json is in React Optimizer, right? You can see here that our packet.json or git ignore or all of these things like packet.json and all these things are in React Optimizer folder. So you have to upload that. uh, and after that you'll click on this toggle button. This toggle button is also clicked. The rest of the things will remain same, and you'll click on the deploy part, right? Okay, so till now it is deploying. You can just ask some more questions if you want, right? Okay, so I think we have deployed our project. So these were all the simple steps that we have to follow for deploying our project, right? So let's just check that this particular thing should be working fine. I think it is working very perfectly fine, right? Okay, very good. I think all of you would follow the same thing, and will deploy the project, right? And I think your attendance form has also been been there in the comment section. So do fill that particular form out, and then we'll just in 1 to 3 minutes we'll just start revising that what we did today's class. Okay. So I think you'll get these notes, right? In that there is GitHub link and LinkedIn link. So I'll be not commenting this in the comment section again and again. And I think we can start revising what we did today, right? uh, we can start right. We started with like modern React application often become slow because too much code is loaded at once, right? Even when the user does not need all the features immediately, right? I made a good analogy with the reels part, right? All of the reels are not shown to you at the one time, they are shown one by one, and that is how you want it also. So this is what this particular line is saying also, right? For example, a dashboard, chart, table settings, right? And help section at once. So this is what the same things, and what this actually leads to if all of the things are loaded into you at the once. So what this particular thing will lead to, it will lead to slower initial page load, poor user experience, and unnecessary CPU and memory usage, right? These are very basic things, so you'll be knowing that. Let me just see there one doubt: whether big widget will remount every time open widget changes to false and true again, and how to persist if state if needed. Okay, so you this is actually not a toggle button, right? This is actually not a toggle button that if you click on the open widget, it will go back, right? If you are open widget, it will be shown to you, and because you needed it, right? You don't want it to go back. It is shown to you from the server side. UI has been loaded. Now nothing optimization can be done. You demanded for this particular UI, so UI has shown you, and the matter is closed. Okay, so I think you are confused that uh, that will change open widget to false, right? This is what not the functionality we have implemented. We have implemented that when it turns to true, just show us and the matter is closed. Okay, so now we can continue with the revision. I think you got the answer for your doubt. So, like, what is lazy loading? So, it is a performance optimization technique where the parts of the application are loaded only when they actually needed it, right? All of the things would be like making sense to you, that what all of the things have written in it, right? You can, though the notes are for you to revise, right? But I am just making it from the like above part, so that you can just revise it later, right? So instead of loading the entire application upfront, what React loads the core UI first, and the heavy or the optional feature later, based on the user's action, right? I can just mark this particular thing based on the user's action. So like when you are scrolling the reel, right? That action is performed by you, right? So when you scroll the reel, you demanded another reel. So after that, there would be lazy loaded and another reel and shown to you. So this is what this particular line means. So right, the code splitting is a technical process of lazy loading, right? Like we did. Like what was happening in the before part. Let me show you what was happening in the before part. The big widget or the function to be shown was mentioned in the same file, but what we did for the after, we actually split that particular thing in the big widget here, and we are importing that particular file through this. Okay, so this is the part of the code splitting. So code splitting is the part of of this lazy loading, where we are breaking one large JavaScript bundle into smaller chunks, and each chunk is loaded on demand. So for you to understand, I have made only one chunk. So there on this scalable app, there are 10,000 or many of chunks there are. Okay. Okay. So why lazy loading improves performance? So you can see that reducing initial bundle size, speeding up first render, dereferring the heavy computation, like on the first go, what was happening, this particular code was not executed, right? This was executed on the condition of the open statement, right? If this open is true, then this suspense would perform, right? So this is what it is improving in our things, right? Okay, so you can just read all of these things by yourself. We can move to the real world daily life examples that we can see. That is, a YouTube is a very common example, right? Home feed, okay, video comments load after you scroll, right? Right, description expand only when you click on the show more, right? This is what things you be using in the daily lives, right? In the Google Maps also, the basic map loads first. After that, only if the street view loads when you enter it, right? It does not load when you just open the app. Otherwise, your Google Map app would, like what you say, would not work very perfectly, right? In the e-commerce sites also, so you can just read once all of these things and you can just go and check, yes, these things happen in the daily lives. I think most of these would be finding this, but all things relatable, right? Because you are using these all into day-to-day life. You can read the advantages and, okay, when not to use lazy loading. So I think you are good to go. If anyone is having doubt, today's session is like ended. I think your 5-day boot camp is also completed, so you can go if you have no doubts. Now I'll be seeing the chat section only, right? No more, like what you say, revisiting to the code part. Any doubt related to this particular all optimization, any optimization till now, like on the 5 days, any optimization, you can just ask me. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you can just ask me any doubt if you want, right? Or like if you have no doubt, you can just leave the class also, right? So rather than just loading, can we make some simple component in the, like what more simple than loading component you want to introduce in the fallback? I think loading is one of the most simple component that you want to make, right? Rather than just loading, can we add some simple components in the fallback? Like why do you want to add simple component, right? Means in the fallback you can add anything, right? But if you are making on a real world application, you will be writing loading in it, right? That's what the standard or the protocol. Okay. So can we use suspense in main so that it can be applied to the whole application? No, no, no. Because see, your site at the end, when you are making on a scalable app, is a, what you say, disintegrated part, or you can say a code splitted part. So the on the particular page, if you want, so in that particular file only you can use it, right? You cannot use in the main part. Like it's not good for the whole app, right? So can you tell what should we prepare for interview purpose if we are looking for from the, like like for the interview purpose, right? You can just go to the Google, like okay, and you can just search for the React interview questions for freshers GitHub. Okay, so it will give you all the questions that are asked in the famous companies. And one thing that you should do is that you should go to YouTube and you should write for the freshers JavaScript interview mock interviews. So that particular person would be asking some questions, so you will be answering them, right? Or you will see those very famous, these are very famous what you say, mock interviews. So you can just see those, so for the interview purposes, right? So okay, how suspense for data fetching. Okay, okay, for a 4-year experience, you can do one thing. You can like okay, uh, like you are 4 years into the, what you say, you are a fourth year grad, undergrad, or or you are 4 year, like you have graduated from the college. If you are graduated, like you have 4 years of experience, you can like directly write SD2 or SD3 interviews, mock interviews. They are also present on the YouTube. Suspense is built in the components. Okay, so it is a feature which is provided by the React itself. We don't have to create the suspense, right? So this is a feature which is provided by the React itself. If you are using the React lazy, means you will be using the suspense also. So this particular file has been made by the React developers itself. Okay, so it's a very good questions that you asked, because it can feel that we have made this suspense, right? But what has happened when you have used this react.lazy means that you will be using this suspense also. So it is made by the React developers only. Okay, so someone is asking about the project. So this is the project that we have made at the end. This particular project that you have made with me. So this is only the project that you have to make and submit. So she's asking that she's an experienced professional with 4.5 years. Yes. So you can like write that. You can just go on the YouTube and write SD3 or engineering lead mock interviews for React. So or JavaScript. So they are also present there, and they are actually very good, right? They are actually very good if you practice from them. Like when I also give some of the interviews, I just go through, I try to go through to 1 2 3 sessions, so that it gets handy for me, right? Okay, you can just go now and check, right? Okay, so any related doubt to any or other doubt that I can solve for you, right? You can just ask. Okay, I think I have almost addressed all the doubts. Okay, so these only React optimization or further there is. Okay, so like these are the most five used optimization. Like if someone asks you in the interview that, okay, you know React, but tell me some of the optimization techniques that you know. So for that, these five would be enough, more than sufficient that you tell that I have done this optimization, I know this optimization. Okay, but there are definitely more, but these fives would be like give you very handy on it, right? So when you will be working on the real world projects, so you will definitely see, yes, there is a thing that can be optimized here. Means from these five optimization you can solve many other optimizations, right? But if you are in a college student, I think these five are more than enough, and especially the one that we discussed today. Okay. Okay, so there is like another which I didn't covered in this, that like pagination, right? So if you go now and do the pagination optimization, it it will feel, what you say. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so this is all about the Vercel. Okay, so it has been great class so far. Okay, so I think someone is actually accessing, like wanted to access this particular thing, the Vercel link. So you have to deploy your own project, right? Okay, so you can leave the class if you have no doubts. If you have doubts, I am there for the 5 minutes, and do fill the attendance form, right? Because after I just end up the session, there are like 20 messages yesterday that they didn't fill the attendance form, and they were demanding the attendance form for from me, right? So if no doubts, you can just say no and just can leave the class, and then we'll also wrap up the class, right? We will just complete the session. Okay, so okay, I think there are no more doubts. So when we'll get the certificate, okay. So for the certificate, you have to be active on the not active. So there would be like form on the community group. You have to fill that, and after that, okay. So JavaScript, okay. So though my next bootcamp would be on operating system for interviews. After that, we'll be doing the JavaScript, right? Sub project compulsory. I can okay. So see, there are two, three kinds of certificate. One certificate you will get if you have attended the 5 class, right? And have the attendance form of screenshot of all those things. You'll get that certificate. There is another certificate that you get after submitting your what do you say project. So it is an easy project, right? You can just make in 3 hours, less than 3 hours, right? Okay, I have also provided my GitHub repo. If you need any help, you can just come here and just see that what all things we have done, right? Let me share it again if you didn't have it. Okay, so this is about okay. So I have posted the link. Okay, if any other doubt, please ask and do fill the attendance form. Okay, let me send. Okay, I think all of the doubts are clear for you. We can wrap up the session. Goodbye. Good night. Okay. I think 5 days were actually worth it, right? You must have enjoyed all of the classes, right? And must have learned something new, right? Like instead of, I was just thinking before that to take a very HTML and CSS kind of a thing, but I thought that something unique should can be done, and I thought that optimization is a technique that is not what you say was seen on the YouTube, right? Okay, so I think you all must have liked the sessions, all of the sessions, and have attended them well. Okay, so we can just end the session now, right? Let me just send the notes to you. Notes. Okay, I have sent to the DevTown team. They will upload these notes. Okay, you'll just read them once, and all things are clear for you. Uh, all things would be clear for you, right? I think we can just end the session for now. And the notes are having my GitHub link as well as LinkedIn link. Okay, so I think most of your problems are solved, and this is the repository. Final React optimization and React optimization both are same. You can just use them for your own reference. Like if you get stuck anywhere during the coding part, you will just see there, and then implement in your own systems, right? Okay, see you in the next what you say next bootcamp of operating system for interview preparation. And now we can just end the session, right? Okay, goodbye.